Hello friends, welcome back to A Knitter's Life, to my little corner here. It's been a month since I sat down with you, and I'm so sorry about the long Christmas break. I didn't intend to be gone this long at all, but as I guess I didn't anticipate Christmas time being as busy as it ended up being. I thought I had planned and prepared and prepped, but not enough. It ended up being a very, very busy season and just lots of family in, and all very good and very happy and funny times, but very full and hosting things, and just it was very full. So we had a lot of good times, made some good memories. I think the funniest one of the funny ones was taking my in-laws on a hike. I think it was very cold that day, 27 degrees, or maybe it was 16. Anyways, it was extremely cold that day, and we had planned on hiking with them, and then they would all come back to our house for dinner, and we toyed with other ideas of doing other ideas, going duckpin bowling or something like that, but they all insisted on hiking, so we hiked, and we made glog, some spiced wine and hot cocoa and cookies and things for everybody mid-hike, and that was fun. I think we all of the adults ended up drinking a good quantity of glog, but that made it, don't worry, we had designated drivers for getting us home, but we had a lot of fun and had a lot of laughs, so that was good memories. But it's good to be back with you. It's good to be in the new year. I always think of January, especially towards the middle of January, finally things kind of settle back into its pace, and it's kind of a peaceful month with usually lots of snow and cold and just fires in the fireplace and lots of tea and knitting, and usually January is also a time where I catch up with some of the friends that I didn't get to see over the Christmas holidays, so that's kind of fun too. So I have a few of those events planned for later in January, and I'm looking forward to that. But it's good to be back with you guys. I hope you all had a good, happy holiday season, a good New Year, and a good Christmas season. And I hope you all are now recovering and doing some fun knitting for yourself. It's always fun. I feel in the sweater mood. Oh my goodness. So I have several ideas. I'll talk about that later. But anyways, another cup of tea. It's very cold outside today. It was 6 degrees this morning when I had to send John off to school. Thankfully, he doesn't take the bus, so this was good. I was glad I didn't have to send him off to wait for a bus this morning. We take him into school. There's no busing for the school that we go to. So we bundled him up, and it was still very cold when I picked him up from school today, and he came out all bundled up, looking kind of like a muffled up snowman. So I've been drinking tons of tea today, but it's a good thing. I got a lot of tea for Christmas. I purchased some of it, and then some of it was purchased for me. Right? I think December 11th, so right kind of in the middle of December, my sister introduced me to David's Tea. And I had never gone to a David's Tea shop before, so it was entirely new to me, and I was floored with the huge selection they have of white teas and green teas and oolongs and black teas and rooibos teas, and then of course the purely what I call fake teas, which are the more tisanes, the fruity teas and the nutty teas, the things that don't have any leafy bits in them at all, that are just fruit and nuts. But it was so much fun to pick out some teas. So the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to pick out a Christmas tea. I always like to have a Christmas tea that to me is Christmas. So I picked out Alpine Punch, which is a rooibos based tea, and it has coconut, apple, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, black pepper, rose blossoms, almond, and natural almond cream flavoring. So it was quite good. It is absolutely delicious. It kind of reminds me of being on ski slopes and then coming in for some spiced wine. So that was a definite winner. I dropped a bunch. The other one that I chose was Canada, another Robust tea, and it has caramel, toffee, and maple flavoring. Oh, this is really good. So that was kind of my Christmas teas that I chose. I couldn't resist some cream of Earl Grey organic black tea. I love Earl Grey. This Earl Grey has a hint of vanilla in it, so it's really quite delicious. And I have been savoring that. There is another Earl Grey though. Oh my goodness, my sister got me this for Christmas and I didn't know how good it was. Otherwise, I think I would have gotten it for myself too. The Earl's Garden. It's a black tea, but it's Earl Grey, so it's the flavor of Earl Grey, but it has berries in it. It's so good. It feels like you're having a cream tea in some fancy garden. So it's wonderful. Then my husband got from my sister buttered rum, which is a black tea, and it tastes like buttered rum. It's very, very good, and he loves buttered rum, so that was fun. Then this was interesting. I tried this on a whim. This is Kashmiri chai. I don't really like green tea usually. I usually like black and Robust tea, but I smelled all or most. I don't know if I could smell all of their chais. They have so many. I smelled quite a few of their chais. And I love chai, but I was looking for one that really reminded me of the chai that we had when we were in Africa. And this was the closest one. This came pretty close to it. So I got this, and yes, it was perfect. It hit the spot. I blended it with a black tea, so I had some of the black tea flavors. And it blended really well. The green and the black tea blended really well together. So that was fun. So all those fun teas. So if you have a David's tea near you, you should try it. If you don't, my sister-in-law says that they are quite good at mail order. So you can try it that way. But it's always fun to have some fun teas for wintertime. I think it helps winter go a little faster. I did get another tea, which I'm excited to try out. A friend of mine went to France. And she picked this up in Paris. She said it's a Robust tea that is rose flavored, and you know I love rose tea. So I was excited to try that. She said it's from the oldest tea shop in Paris. So I don't know, I haven't looked that up to double check that, but I was excited to try it. There's quite a bit there too. So that will last me into spring, which is fun. Another sip of tea. We're supposed to be getting another snowstorm tonight. Oh, it's fun though. The boys have enjoyed sledding. Arthur loves sledding. I bundle him up. I put a cowl around his neck so he's muffled right up to his nose, and hat comes right down here. So all you see is this part. But he loves it. Today after school, John and Arthur and I went outside, and they wanted me to pull them in the sled. So I had two boys, one in each sled, and I was pulling them. And I decided I didn't have to go running today after doing that. But Arthur didn't want to come in. John and I were cold, and he did not want to come in. He still wanted to play. So either I had him bundled well, or he just was so excited. So he's going to be thrilled with more snow tomorrow. But on to knits. We need to talk about knits. This is a knitting podcast, right? Well, I don't have all of the finished objects that I have finished here with me. I have a few because a lot of them have been gifted away, but that's such is life. I did make John a pair of mittens and a hat to match right before Christmas, because right before Christmas we had a lot of rain and it was much warmer, and so we were puddle jumping. And they were coming in, and I was washing a lot of their mittens and their hats and their wool, so I have to let them dry over the air vents rather than throwing them in the dryer. And I thought, oh, it would be so nice to have a mostly acrylic set that they could wear when they do puddle jumping and mud play in the backyard, that I can wash and then throw in the dryer to dry really fast. 'Cause what was happening was they were playing and they'd come in for a while and they'd want to go back outside, and I'd have to find other sets that were clean and put on them. So I made him an acrylic, mostly acrylic set. It does have a little bit of wool in it. It's the, if I'm going to remember, the wool ease, and it's the bulky. So you can wash it. Is that right? No, the wool, I'll find my label and I will put that in the show notes so that you know exactly. But I got it from Michael's, just the cheap stuff. You know, I have such a strong pull towards 100% wool, so just even looking at this makes me go, but I have to remember that it serves a purpose, and puddle play is important to them, so it's okay. It's okay that they have an acrylic set. So I need to make Arthur an acrylic set now. So, but that was fun. I finished, here, these are too cute. I have to show them. Aren't they so cute? I made Arthur and Dawn each gnomes for Christmas. This is a little knitted gnome the pattern is by the Knitted Toy Box, and she has a blog, and it was on her blog as a free pattern, which I thought was so nice. So he's a little gnomey. I knit him up flat and then seamed him together, and as I seamed him together, I stuffed him. So he has mostly beans in the bottom, and then he has the stuffing in the top part. So he's kind of fun. The kids like just tossing him back and forth like a ball, and since they each have theirs, they'll toss them to each other as at the same time. So you'll see these two gnomes flying through the air, and they're so lightweight they don't hurt if they get hit by a gnome, and I think it's so funny. So I was really happy that I made these for them, and they just love them. I think I'm going to have to make myself one because I think it's so funny. I also think it would be fun to make my mom one and just have the gnome pop up in her room or in her car when she comes to visit us. My mom usually comes for a visit every Wednesday, which is so nice. And we spend the afternoon together, all of us, and then we have dinner together. So it would be fun if I made her a little knitted gnome that found its way into her bag. I think she'd think it's funny. So that was good. I really liked the bean. She didn't tell you to do that in the pattern, but I knew I wanted the gnomes to sit up straight, and I knew I needed to do either rice or beans in the bottom, and the beans are just the right size to not poke through the knitting. So anyways, that's Mr. Gnomey. He's fun. One of the other things I finished was my Regia Perfect socks, and this is color 07111. And this was so much fun. I am addicted to this now, and I have to go hunt some more down. If you're going to do toe up, it works either toe up or cuff down. Oh, you want to see them? Of course. I need to stop talking and show you. Here we go. Aren't they pretty? So there they are, perfectly matching. And with nice long cuffs. And I did my favorite garter stitch short row heel. And I did a rounded toe decrease. So kind of just plain vanilla knitting, which is me, right? I need socks to be plain vanilla. But so much fun because they came out matching. The yarn kind of tells you what to do and when to do it, which I just love. That's me right now. You can, if you're going to start from the cuff and go down, you pull from the inside, and that starts you off right at the light brown, and then you go down the cuff, and then when it stops at the second light brown, you know, okay, the next thing I need to do is my heel. Then you have for the foot, and then just whenever your measurements tell you to, you decrease for the toe. And if you're going to do toe up, you're going to pull from the outside because the darker yarn comes first. So what you do is you pull off all the yellow And I saved mine. I just thought it was fun, and I know I'd use it for something, like probably a gnome hat or something. So I saved it. So I pulled it off, and then so you pull off your yellow and you cut it, and then you would start with this darker, which is the toe piece. So you can see on the picture again. So you can either start from the cuff down or toe up, which I think is so cool, and end up with the same thing, because then you're going to reach, after you finish the first, you're going to reach another yellow, and you're going to wind that up and cut that off, and then start your second sock. So I definitely have to get my hands on some more of this. It was just too much fun. So if you guys like to knit socks, definitely give this a try. It was definitely fun. I'm very happy with my socks. So I have to try. That's it as for finished objects that I still have with me. I did receive in the mail, which is so much fun, this delightful kit by Imperial Yarns. And this is from Imperial Stock Ranch in Oregon, here in the US. They raise their own wool from Columbia sheep. They have it milled and spun, and then they sell it to us, which is so nice. And it's such beautiful wool. It's so soft. Here, this is their Tempest yarn, which is a single ply, and it's kind of a little bit lumpy, bumpy, or slubby, but it's so soft and as smooth as butter, and just slides through your hands, and oh, it's like, oh, I want a pillow of it. I want a cowl so that I can cuddle it. But it comes in this box, and they send you the pattern, and I loved this. They send you a button as well. I'm an Imperial yarn girl. Isn't that so cute? I wonder if they have them for guys. Well, guys, you'll have to get onto them, because I know there's so many of you lovely knitting guys out there do such great work. But it came with this kit, and it's a Deborah Newton pattern. She designed a line of patterns really for them for this early spring season, and there's a lovely knit along going along in the Ravelry group. I think it's I'll have a link, but it's for Imperial Yarn, so you can look that up on Ravelry. And it's the Deborah Newton cowl, and there's different hats that people are knitting, and it runs until the end of January, so you still have time to get involved, which this you could do in 2 nights. I did it a little more slowly because I was enjoying the yarn, and I was enjoying the pattern, and I just didn't want it to end. You know how those patterns go, you just don't want them to end, and I still don't want it to end. I haven't done the tassel on the top. But it was so fun. The chain stitch down here was so easy and so simple. You knit with one color at a time. So one row is red and one row is white. So you'd never are having to hold 2 yarns in your hand at the same time, which I think when people see this, they are intimidated, thinking, oh no, I need to know how to do color work. But you don't. This pattern, you don't. It's so easy. She designed it really, really well. And then there's a bit of texture on the top as you do the decreases. And then there's a fun little loop at the top that I still have yet to do. So this is still a work in progress, but I'm looking forward to finishing this off tonight, and then definitely wearing it tomorrow, because I'm going to need it with the snow. But I love Imperial yarn. I knit the Isle of Purbeck shawl this fall out of some of their DK weight yarn, and it's so soft. Oftentimes when you think of farm yarn, you think of something that's rough. This isn't at all. So it's definitely worth getting your hands on any of their wool. It's just really, really nice. And this is a fun pattern. So if you're looking for a fun hat pattern, get your hands on that. I'm kind of sad that the hat has ended, and that the knit along is going to end it still has time, but because it was so much fun. So I will be stalking the Imperial Yarn website and looking at their yarn, because I think I have to get my hands on some more of it. It's just really fun to work with. So I really enjoyed it. So I've been working on that. That's been fun. Another thing that's been in progress that has been so much fun is the Arabella scarf kit that by Skano Yarn. And here, I'll show it to you. It comes up and up and up. Isn't it pretty? Look at those colors. The way that they put these colors together is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm thinking this is going to be the prettiest spring scarf ever. So I am about halfway done, I think. I'm going to make this into a 2-loop cowl. The pattern has you just knit it as a scarf, but I'm going to join it at the end. And since it's garter stitch, it can do this. It can be reversible on either side. So I'm going to have it, knit it into one big cowl, and then use it as a 2-loop cowl. So I can't wait to show you that. But it's so pretty and it's so fun. Another problem is it's addictive because you sit down and you do a color and you're like, oh, nope, I want to do another color. Let me do another color. And the yarn is very soft and just floats through your fingers. So it does get very addictive. It's the perfect Downton Abbey knitting because you want to keep your eyes glued to the TV because there's so many beautiful costumes and scenery, and so it's garter stitch, and then it has this fun little detail here, but that's the only time you really have to keep your eyes on the knitted piece. So it's been by my chair. And I've been knitting on it during Downton Abbey, which is kind of fun too, because it's gonna have those Downton Abbey memories since this is the last season. But anyways, I've been enjoying that in my basket. There's so much. I almost feel like there's just, sometimes I don't even know where to start. Someone did ask me about my journals. I think I shared this one on Instagram, and then PMC Freeburn asked me to share a little bit about my journals, and so I thought I would. I think I've shared it a while ago, almost maybe a year ago perhaps, about what I do with my journals, but I find it's very helpful to write things down, and so I try to write things down as much as possible, things that I have to do, ideas that I have, quotes that I like, and it's helpful to me. It's kind of like it frees your mind for more things, but and I like to keep it all in one place because then I know where to find it if I need to find it again. So I make these little journals, and this is something that my mom did with us, and so I just have kept doing it. They're just, what do I want to call them? They're just they're really cheap notebooks that you get. They're in the school section. What are they called? They're like copybooks. And I use old magazines that I have in my house, because just to clear away clutter, but also save pretty things that I like. So I take Country Living magazines or some of the knitting magazines Molly makes. I think this front cover was from a Molly make, and so is the back cover. And I cut things out and I paste them on. So I just make collages of things that I think are pretty. And then I do that too on the inside. And then I write around it. So things that inspire me, sometimes I just write just for the sake of writing. Here's another page. This is a garden I liked. This page has notes about a pattern on it. So I write down my patterns that I'm designing. Here's another page. This was back in fall. So I'm using up things that I have around the house, as well as using my journals to be creative and to help me get some of the creativity out, because I get frustrated. I haven't had a lot of creative time in the last 3 weeks, and I am frustrated, and my husband knows. He says, you need some creative time. It just helps me. I don't know. Here's a recipe I wrote down, chicken and dumplings. I wanted to make that for the boys. I made it. I loved it. They weren't fans. But I feel like, what are little boys fans of? So I cook for JK and I, and the boys eat what they will. This was fun. This is a talk that I had with Gina, and so I wrote things down. Gina of Brownie Knits, when we got together. So I wrote things down from things that we had talked about. What else do I put in here? Oh, this is fun. I purchased a little cozy for my double points from Little Bobbins of Danny of the Little Bobbins Knits podcast. And she packaged it so sweetly. It was so cute. And she wrote a little note in her package. So I just put that in my journal. I thought it was so cute. And I have notes for a pattern on the other page. So just things that come to me or come in the mail. Here, this was a postcard that my mother did for Nina in Maine. She has the Lilybrook Farm, and she has sheep. She has Scottish blackface sheep, and she has 2 merinos, which I am spinning up some of their fiber right now. But she has such a fun conglomeration of animals on her farm. Horses and a miniature pony and a donkey, and she's in Maine. She's my mom's cousin, and we love her so much. She's so fun. So she sent me this postcard for Christmas, so I put that in my book because it's so happy and so fun. So I just cut out things and then write around them. So this is my idea and thoughts journal. Then I did one for my calendar. I usually do just a plain calendar. I am still a paper calendar girl. I know that it's crazy. Most people keep their calendar on their phone, but I still like to see it all in one go, all written out, just right there on the page. So I took another one of those notebooks, and I took paper that I had. I put an envelope in here for stuffing receipts and things in. I took, this actually isn't washi tape. This is actually duct tape that is colored. It's really fun, so I use that. I use glue sticks to glue everything down, and these were just little sticky tapes things that I got at Michael's, and I printed off calendars just on, I googled calendars and just printed off this year's calendars, and so I stuck them all in. So this is my calendar for the coming year, and I like it because I can write notes around the edges, and then I can also stick things around the edges of tickets from places we've gone, or various things. So I am excited about this one. So this is my calendar, and then this is just my idea and thoughts notebook. Again, this was paper that I had around the house, so I was trying to use things that I had, and I had the tape too. So one of the things that I do to make my journals a little more durable is I cover the outside with packing tape. I know you're going to be like, what, packing tape? But the packing tape gives it a surface that you can actually, wipe off if something spills on it. And it also stays. It really, really sticks. I tried at one time to do sheets of the plastic protector, but that always came off. So I did packing tape. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's little lines. So I just take strips of packing tape and I put it over the book and then fold it in on the inside. So just right along the edge. And I do that all the way across. And I do just half. I do this front and over to the binding, and then I do the back. So anyways, those are my crazy journals. It's just what I do. Use what I have around the house. But anyways, okay, wait, but that had what I was supposed to talk about. I usually never do show notes. I usually just wing it, but I felt like this time I'm coming off of the holidays. I still don't have my brain clear from all of that has happened. I need notes. So, I am working on my uncle's socks. These are the biggest socks that I've ever knit, and they're really, now that I look at them and I've seen some of the socks that you all have knit for your husbands, they're not really that big. They're just a lot bigger than I have ever knit. We have very small feet in our house. So, anyways, yeah, this isn't terribly big, is it? It's just kind of a normal man size, but I have, my husband and I have the same size foot, so, and I have very narrow feet, so this is like 72 stitches, and I'm used to going, my socks are usually 56 stitches, so I'm not used to this, but that's okay. I'm doing it. So I'm very excited about finishing them. I'm using Knit Picks Stroll tweed in the slate gray and then the midnight blue. And I did a Fish Lips Kiss Heel because the Fish Lips Kiss Heel is really designed to fit anybody's foot. It's the style of heel that commercial sock companies use, and so I use that to fit him. And I'm going to do the toe. Here's Little Bobbin Knits, lovely cozy for the double points. Works so well. I did the toe in the contrasting as well. So I'm very pleased with it. Now that I think about it, I probably shouldn't have used a tweed for his first pair of socks. I'm a little concerned that the tweed nubs are going to bother his foot, but I'm going to finish these and then send them off to him and start a second pair in just a plain yarn, and we'll see how it goes. But he was so sweet. It was so cute to find out that he was trying to look on the internet on where to buy hand knit wool socks. So I said, oh, I will definitely make you some. So again, those are from my uncle. So I am enjoying it, although at times, just because it's 72 stitches versus 56 stitches, it feels so radically different. I can't get used to it yet, but by the second pair I will. I was given a sock ruler for Christmas by a good friend of mine, Carol, and I am thrilled with it. I have wanted one for such a long time, and I don't know what possessed me to not buy one. I don't know. I don't know. After using it, I'm like, why did it take me so long? So many years of sock knitting, and I didn't have one of these. But they're wonderful. You can either do it from the toe up or the cuff down. Since I do cuff down, you can put it inside of your sock to measure the height of the cuff, or you put it right against the heel to measure the length of the heel or the length of the foot section until the toe decreases, and it is perfect. So I am utterly thrilled with it. If you're a sock knitter and you don't have a sock ruler, you should get one. It's the sockruler.com. So I am eternally grateful to Carol for getting me one. It has made my life so much happier with knitting socks. And I don't know. I don't think, I still I wonder at myself, why did it take so long? But it's wonderful. So I was quite pleased with them. The other thing that I have in progress is another hat. Yeah, right, another hat. But I've, after being home on Christmas break and it's gotten colder, it seemed like there was always a hat that was misplaced. A hat, and it was, one of the boys was missing a hat. It was easier to keep track of Arthur's hat because he likes his hats. he likes to keep them on. And sometimes when they fall off in the car, he'll be trying to put it on his head. And keep in mind, he's 2, so it's very hard to get it, for him to get it back on his head. And he'll try to get it on, and he'll say, "Not working! Mama, hat not working!" It's everything I can do to just not laugh, but take him seriously, because it's so funny. Hat not working, Mama. Hat not working. So he is easy to keep track of with his hats. But John, on the other hand, is harder, because he gets warm and he takes his hat off, and it ends up in JK's car, or in my car, or in Grandma's car. And so it ends up all these different places, and soon we have 3 or 4 hats that are strewn around. One of John's hats right now is up at his Gimmy's house, his other grandma's house. And so I'm finding that we need a good supply of hats for John. So he is getting another hat. I'm knitting the quarters cap, and I've kind of modified the pattern a little bit to do a chunky yarn, because that's what I have. It's a nice soft yarn. This is a acrylic wool blend from Artful Yarns. And I wanted to do the acrylic blend just for easy washing. So it's going very nicely, and it's striping up. The quarters cap by Kristen Nicholas is so much fun because it goes so fast, and it uses short rows and garter stitch, and it's squishy and it stretches, and I find that it's really good for growing boys because it's they can wear it a couple of years. One I made for John when he was 2, he wore it until he was 4, I think. So just because it's garter stitch, and so it's going to give you that stretch this way. So I really like it. It's a lot of fun, and I like to put a pom-pom on the top because it's really cute. So I'm working on that, and that is in my felted flower bags on Etsy. That is my sister's shop, and she gave me a really cute notions pouch in my stocking this year. Isn't it pretty? It's so pretty. It's wool, of course, a wool plaid. She loves plaid. And it has polka dots on the inside. Does she have, let's see, she doesn't have her tag in there. I'll show you her tag in here. That way it should be easier to find her. There you go, the felted flower shop. So this is perfect because one of my things that I decided this year that I need to have are more notions pouches. It was right before Christmas break, and I was trying to get, the Christmas concert was the following day, and I was trying to get all the teachers' gifts finished and done and ready to go for the next morning to go to school. And I made a shawl for John's first grade teacher because she's very special and John really loves her, and she just needed a shawl. So I made her a shawl, and I needed to weave in the ends, and I couldn't find my little tin, which has my scissors and my tapestry needles in it, and sometimes it carries extra stitch markers or things like that. This is another stitch marker thing, but this is like my prize because it has everything in it, but I only have one of them. I couldn't find it, and I couldn't find it, and I was running frantically around the house. We have a upstairs, a mid-floor, first floor, and then a basement, and so my things, depending on where the boys are and what we're playing and what we're doing, can be any number of those places. So I think I had searched each level 3 times, and I was just going nuts. And it was late at night, and I was about to tears, and I sat down, and I decided to try to weave in these ends. And keep in mind, this is a lace weight shawl, and I was trying to weave in the ends with a crochet hook, and it was not working. And I just didn't know what to do, and I sat back, and down the stairs came my husband. I was in the basement at this point, and he said, "Are you looking for this?" I said, "Yes, I'm looking for that. Where did you find it?" "It was in your knitting bag by your chair in the kitchen." I had looked there a couple of times, but I had missed it because I was so anxious about it. So I was so thrilled, gave him a big hug, and I definitely have the best husband in the world. I didn't know that he was looking for it too. He just silently went off and started looking because he knew I was frantic, so I was very thankful. But that also made me decide I need to have more tapestry needles and more little notions cases because I can't ever let that happen again. That was so frantic. But it got worked out, so this is good. I did finish some spinning. Can you believe it? In that time, I plied this beautiful, this is the bats that I did from, the name is escaping me, from that lovely farm. I'll definitely put the link in the Ravelry page, but I bought a bat at the Fiber Festival over in Ohio in the fall, and I loved it so much I went back on her Etsy shop and bought another one to match it, to ply it with, so that I could have a nice skein. And it's about a worsted weight. It's so squishy and so lovely, and it's their beautiful bats, sari silk, alpaca, and a wool blend, so from their lovely animals on their farm. So I would highly recommend them, and I will give you the link to that. One of the things that I made for my friends and I for Christmas, for Gina of a Brownie Knits podcast, and also for our mutual friend Carol, were these knitters necklaces. And they're not, some knitters necklaces have stitch markers hanging off of them, but these are just pendants for us. The first one is, they're called dictionary pendants, and they're easy to make and they're fun. So I did knit and then friend, because they're my knitting friends. And then one of the fun things was in our Advent calendar that Gina and I put together for the three of us, Gina put this pendant in, and it was fun because I had done the pendants before I knew that she was going to put our letter of our name in. So that was fun. So we all have matching little necklaces, and my plan is that when we go to fiber festivals together, we'll get little charms or little things that are the same, that will be memories of that time that we spent together. So it's kind of fun. I'm really excited about it, and they seem to like theirs, so I was happy. Gina gave me some lovely fiber, and this was really exciting. This was from her time at Rhinebeck. She found dragonfly fibers, made Hudson River Valley colorway up, and she scored one of the last remaining braids. I'm so excited. So this is the next spin up on the wheel. I'm really excited about that. And then I got my first balls. This was from Carol, very sweet. My first balls of Arnie and Carlos sack yarn. So I'm really excited about knitting that. It's really pretty. So that was really sweet. I haven't knit with any of their yarn yet, but I've seen it, especially this colorway. That is such a pretty colorway. And I've just drooled over it. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then I got myself some sock yarn. No one ever gets me knitting things for Christmas, which is fine. Actually, Carol and Gina did this year, which was very, very sweet. And I was totally thrilled because those were the only knitting related things for Christmas that I got. So I decided to gift myself some sock yarn. Do you guys ever do any of that? I feel a little like I was naughty, but I decided, mommies put on Christmas. Mommies do a lot of hard work. It's okay. So I bought myself some of the Color Mania by Regia, and it's fun, and I love the pops of color, so I'm looking forward to knitting that. I'm definitely in the sock knitting mood because it's the perfect thing for when you're waiting in the school line. It's the perfect thing to do. It's a perfect relaxing thing to do. I think that was it. Carol gave me this too. This is so pretty. This was some lovely Richard DeVries yarn, and this is a worsted weight yarn. I'm looking forward to doing a brioche knitted piece in this. I want to do a brioche cowl. Brioche just is so fun, and it's, again, something that's, to me, so quintessentially winter. I love to do things in their season. Isn't that ridiculous? That's a bit ridiculous, but I do like to do things in their season. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to do the Pearl Soho brioche cowl with this, with a white. Wouldn't that be pretty? So I have a pink coat too, so that will look really nice. Well, I have chatted on long enough, and before this goes on an hour, though I am checking, I probably missed some things. I did want to say there's a couple of podcasts that I've really been enjoying, and it's always helpful to know about other podcasts just in case the one that you really enjoy watching goes silent for a month. Not saying that you enjoy watching mine, but whatever. It's happened to me before. I'll be watching a podcaster and I'll be like, yes, I want to know what happens in your knitting. And then she goes silent for a month and you're like, oh no. But anyways, I've been really enjoying Mirjam Molenbeek. She's over in Holland, and she's very crafty, and she has 2 kids. And so I feel like I have a lot in common with her, and she's very fun and sweet to watch. So Mirjam, keep podcasting. I really like it, and all of those of you who haven't seen her, go check her out. Another person that I've been enjoying is the Knitting Expat. She had a really fun podcast about Iceland, and Iceland is a place that I really, really want to go visit sometime. So you'll have to go check her out and check out her Iceland post. Right now, she's in the midst of knitting this amazing whirlwind sock tournament, it seems. A sock tourney, if that can be such a thing, with another podcaster. And it is a knit along in her group, so you can go check it out. But so far, I think she's managed a pair of socks a day in the month of January, or maybe she is one over. Maybe she's done 2 pairs of socks in one day, because she might be up to 12 pairs, and this is January 11th. So anyways, it's amazing. I am floored by your speed, Mina. It's quite amazing. So it's fun to watch. Another thing that I've really been enjoying, it's not a knitting podcast, but I always enjoy a little bit of inspiration when it comes to cooking, because I cook a lot. 3 meals a day, it seems. Well, it is. And sometimes, at least I can get in a cooking rut with just what the boys like to eat, and then I get bored with eating. So I have been watching The Domestic Geek on YouTube, and she has some really great cooking ideas, as well as, this is what I loved, she has so far 2 episodes about make-ahead meals. So basically, she gives you all the shopping list of what you need to get, and then all the recipes, and then she shows you how to make them in what order. Like on a Sunday night, you prep all the meals for the week, which is so awesome. I haven't done that yet, prep all the meals in one go, but I'm definitely loving her recipes and her different take on things, and how to do a recipe, like a big recipe, and then box it up. I was thinking especially for my lunches, because I kind of get bored with lunch and I feed Arthur, and then I just ate a little bit here and then a little bit there, and then I'm kind of hungry the rest of the afternoon. So I think having something already made for myself in the fridge would be great, because then I don't have to make lunch for myself, because I don't. So anyways, I hope that that's a bit of an inspiration to you, but take it or leave it, whatever. Maybe you guys have some cooking tips that you guys like to do. I do find that wintertime is a bit of a slog for me in cooking because I'm not inspired by all the things that are growing out in the garden or in the farmer's market, and I really do like to cook with the fresh things, and so I just am not as inspired. But anyways, for what it's worth, that's some ideas and suggestions. You guys can check it out. But I will say adieu, but I will not be gone for long. I should hopefully be back next week. There's nothing huge on the calendar, so I hopefully will be back. In the meantime, you can join the conversation over in Ravelry, in the Ravelry Knitters Life group, or you can find me on Instagram as a Knitters Life, or also on Ravelry as Christina Wall. And you can find me on Etsy too. Right now, my Etsy shop, A Knitter's Life, is silent, but there are some things coming, some little fairy bags that I've been making, so that's something to look forward to. But in the meantime, happy knitting and stay warm. Happy tea drinking too. Bye.